Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review. We are on Rune's account and he wants to know what he needs to work on to get better in the game. I mean, that's a very broad question, but he is stuck apparently from what he told me. And he also wants to know, which is going to be an important topic that I'm going to be addressing on the next video, is how to deal with his rune box because it's currently full and he's having a hard time selling certain runes. Now, I do think a lot of people have the same question, and I was also at that same point, and I want to make it a separate video because I think there are some easy ways to make this rune box a little cleaner as you progress into the game. Now, for early game players, it might be a little less applicable. However, I do think even like early mid game, it starts to apply. I think a lot of people will be interested in that, so please look forward to that video. It probably will be the next one or the next one. Depending on how I put it up, but I will definitely address that, and I hope that it helps you guys clean up your rune box. Now, this video will simply be a review on Rune's account. Again, there are still a lot of people in the same state as this account, because if you're having trouble with your rune box, if you're having trouble figuring out what you need to work on, I do think a lot of these people are either early game or at least, you know, max mid game, because mid game players or mid late game players start to get a feel on, oh, I want to play this kind of play style depending on the box, and if I want to strive in that, I have to work on this dungeon or these dungeons. Not knowing that kind of tells me that you're still a little lost, like you don't know the potential that your box currently has. So let's see if I could identify that so that this account owner could strive to go a certain direction. Now, disclaimer, my advice is not the answer. Okay, this is a gacha game and there are various ways to play it. Yes, there's a meta, so there's definitely going to be something stronger in the current state of the game. But is that the right way, or is that the only way for you to play the game? Definitely not. And it really depends on how you define the right way of playing this gacha game. If you're just simply a collector, it doesn't matter. You're just doing all these different contents to get more scrolls, then play however you feel like, because it's really about enjoying the game. And unfortunately, if your enjoyment is only summoning, then that's going to either be very expensive, or you'll have to play more of the meta things to get more wins to maximize the amount of scrolls that you could get. You could just be a player that wants to play a certain niche, right? You don't want to follow the meta because everybody's playing that. It gets pretty boring, and you want to figure out new things. There's definitely people that do that, and if you're that type of player, again, this advice is not going to really apply, right? Because I'm trying to give you an advice so that you could strive for the best result. But if you are looking to improve, I hope that my advice helps, because I am probably mid-late game. Maybe some people will say late game, but it really depends on how you define late game. I mean, if you're looking at RTA G3 as late game, then only a very few people will be in that rank, or even just Guardian 1, then yeah, again, only a very few people. I guess a little bigger, because I guess if you hit it, you're still considered late game, but you will be falling off if you have stopped at a certain point. Anyhow, let's get right in. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon. I want to say I appreciate all the support. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. Record shows that his best arena record was C2. Now, seeing this arena record being still a Conqueror level kind of tells me that he is max mid game. RTA C1, which is great. Challenge 9 wins, great, good for you, because I think mine's still 7. So we'll have to see that. He's in a G1 guild, or at least was in a G1 guild. He is doing 12 hell, which is great, and you could tell that he hasn't been playing for so long, right? Dungeons, Abyss, 26 seconds, which is great. Dragon's Lair, 49 seconds, which doesn't seem horrible, but it does seem questionable seeing like this guy there, the Tayor. So maybe this is not safe. Maybe he doesn't have all the units to create this team. Necropolis, 40 seconds, which is great. Again, I do want to point out that if you do want to really strive in your speed dungeon teams, I think focusing on Necro is a way to do it, because Rage is really one of those sets that will catapult you in getting a speed team. He's doing the 2 artifact dungeons, sub 1 minute, right? 45 seconds, both of them, so I think that's really good. For R5, he is doing R5 for the Fire one and the Chaos one, R4 on the Frostrate Beast and the Tempest Beast, which doesn't really matter because I think the really important ones is the Blazing Beast. If you want to get some other grinds, I'll just run the Chaos Beast, to be fair. Dimensional Dungeons, you only have a level 5 for... Oh, you have a level 5 for the Forest of Roaring Beast and also Rune of Silent Death. I'm guessing that you're trying to get those Swift. Again, it'll depend on what kind of playstyle you're going for, but I do think the most efficient one is the Sanctuary of Dreaming Fairies because it gives you Despair and Will, and some people will even say Nemesis because it is used heavily in PvP. Seeing that, let's go look at his box. I think we did see a couple of LD5s, maybe 2. No Dark Nat 5. Well, do you have other things like maybe Deborah, Fiona, okay, Truffle, perfect. Martina, decent as well. You also have Luna, that's great. For light, I think we saw the Laura, right? So the Laura right there, and that's actually the only one. You have Kinky, you have Leah. I'm seeing options for arena offenses or even like siege offense, siege defense, so on and so forth. For wind, what are you missing? Pyeongchar, Layla, Aya. Oh no, he has Aya. Never mind. No Angela. No Christina. No Oliver. No Leo. That's big. He has Tiana. He has Triton. Okay, so I think if he has Vanessa or Samath, he at least has a decent AD that he could use. But not having Pyeongchar and stuff is kind of unfortunate because still I think it's a very strong unit in defense. And also not having Leo is pretty big because it really limits you from creating a second turn team. And also like the really slow team that's very safe. But the Fang, well, he doesn't even have Fang, so I guess he's really limited there. But what I'm talking about is with like Kinky, Leo, Fang, like Vero or Elia, something like that. For water, he has Gideon, cool. He has Layla, okay. So he has Triton, Layla, I like that. If he has Vanessa or Samath, more of Vanessa though, I do think he has a very good arena defense that he could use. Manon, Hey Gang, which is great, but no Layla, unfortunately, if you remember that. And no Camila, no Samath either, so we really have to hope that he has Vanessa. For fire, okay, he's missing a lot of the dot stuff, right? No Mugwang, no Hacker. Yeah, oh, he has Nora though. So Nora, Hey Gang. Do you have Rika? No Rika and no Vanessa. Ooh. Do you have more? More will be my, oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. He's missing like all of the speed leads. This makes it extremely hard to make a decent arena defense here right now. Yeah, no Juno either. So I think Vero, wait, let's see. Vero, Layla, Triton, plus a speed lead, but the speed lead is limited, so we really have to figure out something there. I think it might have to be a tanky defense, I don't know. Okay, so those were the units. So he's missing a lot of core stuff, but again, it is an account that's been created for 228 days. Unless you're a heavy spender, you are bound to be missing a lot of units. Let's look at Swift. I mean, being only 228 days, I'm hoping that the dungeon that he farmed the most is probably Giants. So let's see if he has something good here. 27, good. 21. I mean, knowing... Okay, I'm going to look at this. Sub property before grinding because people wanted that. Okay, so it's still the same. Missing max grinds is understandable because he probably hasn't been farming a whole lot. But you do have that Fire Beast R5, so maybe farm that a little more. I guess it's Swift, so you just will run Chaos. Okay, another very good rune there. Another one. Ooh, yes, some decent runes here. I will work on R5 if you want to perfect some of these runes. Get those +4s on your +20 runes. I think in your level right now, +20 speed is more than enough for you to give it a hero max. You might even argue that you'll give it a legend because, you know, you don't have a whole lot of runes that are over 23 speed. That was that. Vio, okay, nothing over 20. Yeah, Vio definitely more lacking, right? So I think that he definitely ran Giants a lot more before he transitioned into Dragons. So extremely lacking compared to his Swift runes. Despair, going back to Giants. Okay, 23. Despair is weak too, but if you guys didn't know, Despair runes are like the Vio runes. in dragons. So for Vio and giants, it's despair. People think it's swift, but it's not. So it is harder to get more despair runes, or I guess decent drops for despair runes, compared to swift runes. Swift runes are a lot easier. Okay, that's a decent one. Yeah, so you can see that it is lacking a lot of the faster runes compared to swift. Or maybe he was just unlucky, I'm not sure. But that's the consensus. It's harder to get a despair drop. Will finally, ooh, I mean, he had a decently fast Necro team. Maybe this is the reason why that he has some good runes here. Yeah, okay. Whoa, look at that, look at that. But, okay, so seeing this, Vio Dragons is definitely the weakest. So, yeah, maybe just do more Dragons. You could also transition into R5 a little more chaos. I don't want to say the Blazing Beast because your Vio runes aren't the best. So it doesn't feel like it is a hurry for you to perfect those runes because maybe most of them are not worth perfecting. When I say perfecting, I'm talking about like giving hero max grinds. Yeah, you could either farm dragons to get better Vio runes, or you could farm R5, the chaos one, to grind your overall sets. And I'm not saying just Vio runes, right? Because Vio are really not in a hurry for you to be perfecting, in my opinion. But Swift, Will, maybe some in Despair are more due, in my opinion. So there is that. Now let me give you some pointers for Arena defense. Yeah, see, he's running a Sierra because he's lacking a speed lead. His defense rate is 0, and when he got a C2 rank, it was 17%. This is Europe though, so I know it's much harder. I guess he tried rushing. His victory rate is very low, so we'll take a look at the arena offenses as well. I like this. Plus, I like Vero right now, so that it limits them from bringing a dot team. Because the team we currently have is very weak to dot teams. I think using Lower right now is not going to really help. So we'll use the one that's skilled up, obviously. Yup, and then... oh, you don't have a lead. Freak. I really wish you had more. Clara can work. It's 19. So is Sierra better? Let me know if you guys think Sierra is better as a lead compared to Clara. Is there anything else that brings in a speed lead? One might not be bad, to be fair. Or is Sierra better? I mean, there's a lot of control. Tomoe with the strip, right? With the spreading, with the control. Could definitely work. Damn. I do like this team a lot better. I like that your Triton's on Swift Will. If you can make it a Lamilia faster, maybe 100 res, very tanky Veramos, and then Tomoe that could somewhat follow up to your Triton, or at least go after the Lamilia, I think this team can work. Tell me what you guys think, but I like this defense. If you guys don't, let me know what you like better, if you like his current defense. But for me, I'll probably try at least running the Tomoe, running the Lamilia, and then running the Veramos. Unfortunately, the Lamilia is not skilled up, so I guess it is limited in that sense. If you go a tanky defense, is there something they could do? Like, he doesn't have Carno or anything, so... yeah. Let me know. That's my recommendation. For the offense, okay, so what is this guy doing? This is a speed lead? Yeah, I wouldn't use this. To be fair, if you're using a Tiana Zeros team here, don't go into speed defenses. Just don't. Because even with that lead, you're most likely not outspeeding 90% of the speed defenses you're meeting because they are paired with a 33 lead. It's probably the biggest reason why you only have a 70% win rate, because you're probably taking this offense into all the defenses, speed defenses you're meeting, and you're getting outsped. So instead, what I'll bring in is a second damage dealer. You don't have Leo, right? So we can't do that. What's a good second damage dealer here, guys? Like, you want fluff damage of some sort? I mean, if anything, Sierra is a lot better than that unit that you just saw. The Dark Assassin. Damn, I don't see anything good. And I'll take this lead. So, I'll change it. If it was me, right? I'll take Tiana. Zeros, Galleon. I guess this could Lamilia could work, right? Something like this. Does this give you HP lead? No. I would probably take that. Yup. Anything better? Cocky could work too, but that's 2 fire with damage dealers, so reason why I think it's a little worse. I think that's what I'll do. Another one, you had Heigang, you had Nora, so you could go the dot team. With Sao, you didn't build Sath. Oh, you did, perfect. I wish you had another daughter of some sort. Even the Dark Sath is usable as a daughter. So if you want to, you could build him as well. Oh, you do have him. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll try this for sure. Is there another one that you could build? Or is that already too much? Maybe a very safe team. You have Kinky, you have Vero. Probably use the same Vero if you're going to use it in defense. Go HP lead. You want a healer of some sort. Maybe Riley, right? I think you should have a Riley. Wait. Oh, there's a Riley. And then +1. So that you could deal with like very fast teams that you can't outspeed. You know what? Even Mephisto's good here if you're going into some math. It's not skilled up though. So that's an option. Lamilia again is a very good option, I think. Because it's tanky and it has hard damage. Or Gideon. Gideon works pretty well too in this type of team. I wish it was an Alaya though. Well, but Gideon brings in its own defense buff, so I guess it's fine. So something like this, right? Very tanky. Trying to survive the opponent's burst, and then you just clean up because you survived. So I'll probably build these 3 offenses and only run these 3 for now. Your defense is really the question though. I would try Tomoe or Clara. Yeah, I think I like both of those more than Sierra. But that's my recommendation. Again, if any of you guys disagree, please let me know. World Arena, he got C1 with a 49% win rate, 954 games in. I like that. See, if you play enough, you don't have to have a decent win rate. You could still get Conquer. You have a lot of units runed up to 24, picked out 24. Very slow. Yeah, don't go for these slow builds. Well, actually, you're focused all on Swift. Maybe it can work. Yeah, a lot of Swift units, man. Tomoe Heigang without Layla is a weaker comp right now. Without Layla, guys, okay? Especially in this level. I like what you have picked out. I wish some of these runes were focused onto more core units. Because I do think it's right now kind of spread out. So the builds do kind of lackluster compared to some of the rune quality that we've seen. But again, that could be a result of having too many units currently picked out. And you're just runing up too many things. From your box, I mean, assuming that you're not using these support units, is there anything else that I would use? Yeah, there isn't a whole lot, huh? I'll use Vero. I think you had your Vero out, so that's good. Yeah, I think really that's it. I think you have all the units that I'll probably use. But really, I wouldn't use some of these. I actually will start decreasing them. It sucks because you have some great units to go first turn, but you only have 2 speed leads. Well, I guess you have 3 because you also have this. But I don't like this unit. I like these 2. I think these 2 is fine. And it kind of makes sense why you have like things like this out. And it really works well with Lamilia too. So I think you should invest in Lamilia. Yeah, my answer really will be decrease your box. I'll get rid of the Tableau. Probably get rid of these down here. At least get rid of 4 or 5 units, right? I think you have 24, so if you get your box around 16 to 20, I think that it will be more than enough for you to get into C1 again. I hope. That was it for this review. I do think that he needs to work on Vile a lot more. I mean, compared to his other rune sets. He could also decide to work on R5 because And not the Blazing Beast, the Chaos one, so that he has an abundance of grinds that he could use to grind all of his sets. Or he could just decide to farm dragons because his violent set is lacking. He said he does want to get a speed team for dragons. I haven't seen his rage runes and stuff. I'm assuming that the average is like around a minute. Ooh. Does this work with Liam? I thought it was a Julie instead. Let's just see it. I think he said it doesn't work. I don't think Liam goes into this team, does it? Oh yeah, something is definitely wrong. Okay, let's leave. Maybe he just de-runed them, because right now something is definitely wrong. I do think you can make a semi-fast team, but really if it fails, if it doesn't work, I would just go back to the original team. Yeah, they're not ruined. I'll go back to the team using Vero, Spectra. I mean, still sub 1 minute, right? Around the 1 minute mark, which is better than nothing. Anyhow, that was it for this review, guys. If you guys want account reviews like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, please join my Discord, fill out the Google form. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.